Alright, dickheads, welcome back to Practicing Portraits, an artwod roadmap, right? Artwod is the best platform in the world to teach you how to draw with imagination, where they give you the work, not the shortcut, work that lets you draw like this after 3 years and 9 months of practice, right? Who am I? I'm Viggy. This channel is a repository of essentially all of my practice, right? It's an archive to prove that anybody, especially you, can learn to draw. I'm building irrefutable evidence that anybody can draw, right? So get your pen, get your paper, and draw along with me. Thank you very much. Right, get your bullshit, get your things, and draw along, or fuck off, Frank. Keep me on the background, give me retention. Either way, but please give me watch hours. But thank you. So what are we doing, right? What are we doing? We're doing the Artwod portrait roadmap. I am essentially analyzing a portrait reference that I have to the left here, to the left here on my iPad, and then we are building a mental model, a schema, a simulation. We're building this simulation in our mind, right? Because drawing is thinking, and thinking is spatial reasoning, and draftsmanship is spatial reasoning, and blah blah blah. It's all a fucking circle. But or I'm going in a circle. But yeah, I don't really feel like fucking explaining it today. I literally didn't even feel like drawing today at all. So all you need to know is get your pen, get your paper, and let's put in as much cognitive effort as we can. This specific practice session, portraits, is purely about building and visualizing the mental cognitive model. I've already started visualizing, because this is the box that this person's. By the way, what the fuck is this called? Angle Ref. It's in the link in description. What a fucking incredible resource, bro. Like, what an absolutely incredible resource, right? And you can see today, like, my lines are even more shit than ever. Like, look at that. Look at this angle. Like, what is that? It's like a fucking heartbeat. Like, what is it, a heartbeat sensor or whatever, right? The visual. But either way, right? So today it's all about building the mental model. And what do I mean by that? What I mean is I'm going to look at the portrait reference, and then I'm going to visualize the box, the box seen through the box, all the visible and invisible planes inside the box, right? The diagonal cross sections on the visible and invisible planes. I'm calculating these, I'm visualizing these. I've already started, right? Like, and this is like inertia, right? And I'm just inertia, i.e. resistance, i.e. just like, I'm just trying to get my brain to get started and to think about this properly, right? And it's extremely difficult. Like, I'm already starting to think about these multiple factors. But apart from that, we're also going to calculate the center lines inside the three center planes intersecting inside the box, and then the ellipses inside those planes inside the box, right? And then the sphere that encompasses those ellipses, which is the perfect circle, inside the plane, inside the box, right? And that is the extremely difficult mental model 3D simulation I'm building in my brain, right? And this right here, this what I'm doing is I'm ghosting, right? Which is the bridge between your motor cortex and your prefrontal cortex, right? Like, for the purpose, right? And again, like, I'm already not even visualizing this box correctly. And what am I doing? I'm attaching dopamine to my errors. I'm feeling good about these mistakes that I'm making, right? And this is all for the purpose of taxing my working memory, because draftsmanship is thinking, drawing is thinking, okay? And it is an extremely difficult skill which requires hundreds of hours and constant intentional effort to see this box, to visualize the diagonal cross section, invisible, visible, right? Invisible, visible, visible, invisible. And now I'm trying to think. I'm actually, like, it's incredible, like, because I'm interleaving, which is I am taking, I'm purposefully, what's it called? I'm spacing out, spaced repetition by practices, right? But interleaving is practicing a primary skill and changing the context in which that skill is applied in, right? That is my understanding of interleaving as I'm currently practicing it. And the primary skill is visualizing the box, right, with the diagonal cross sections. That's the primary skill. And then the interleave skill is the context of the portrait, which is the three center planes intersecting with it, and then the fucking the ellipses inside the three center planes, and then the diagonal and the diagonal cross sections as well. I already mentioned that. Fuck. And then the sphere encompassing it. But this specific practice, this portrait practice, is actually the most intensive of all my practices in terms of pure cognitive effort, right? Like, to visualize, and dude, it's incredible. I can actually see, I can literally, okay, this is what I mean when I say I can see this, and like, I can see this a lot better, I can calculate it. What I mean is to put in the cognitive, it takes less cognitive effort for me to think and retain and hold the schema, the mental model, the visualization, the calculation of the box seen through with every single diagonal cross section, right? And it is tilting while I'm doing this, so I'm making that beautiful mistake and constantly trying to bring it down, right? And these lines that I'm like ghosting here is X, Z, Y, right? Z, X, Y, and then diagonal cross section. Like, it's all thinking, and it's a constant reminder to be thinking. But this, I'm having a day right now, like, I'm having a session right now where currently it is easier for me to think about this. My mental model is being built, right? Like what your brain is doing is it's holding as many items in its working memory as possible, and through hundreds of repetitions, right? And the failure is the point of these repetitions, by the way. It's not that you go out of your way to make mistakes, but to make as many mistakes while trying not to make mistakes is how you learn, right? It's like trying to understand. It's trying to understand while failing to understand is literally how we learn, right? So this right now, like, what am I visualizing? I'm visualizing the box seen through, right, in the perspective. I actually fucked up the perspective a little bit, but in the perspective of the reference to the best of my ability, right? I'm trying to make sure the box has appropriate depth, right? The box has appropriate depth. I'm visualizing through the box. I'm visualizing the diagonal cross section. I'm trying to hold that to the best of my ability, right? I'm trying to hold the diagonal cross sections to the best of my ability, right? Right around there. That one invisible. And the second I went to the other plane, it shifted upward. The top plane, which is supposed to be something like this, literally the second I went to visualizing this diagonal cross section, calculating it, right, it shifted from this as the top plane to this as the top plane, right? That is a mistake. I don't know why I was gonna say mistake. Mistake. That's a JoJo reference, actually, part 5. But never have rolled the number 4, right? But anyways, like it made a mistake. That's a mistake, right? That's a beautiful error, and I always encourage every single one of you, like, error, mistake, like whatever fucking failure, whatever you want to call it, this is simply data, all right? Like, what we build here is not the ability to be a good artist, it's the ability to be an effective learner, right? And that is a universal transferable skill, which is focus on the effort, focus on the errors, and derive enjoyment from them. I made myself come. I can't even fucking speak right now, or deliver my shitty jokes. But either way, right? And I'm just gonna try to lean into this cognitive friction a little bit more. Again, I'm looking at the reference here. I got the angle wrong again, right? Because it's recall. It's beautiful recall. I keep forgetting the reference in of itself, but I'm trying to get that reference angle, right? What I mean by reference is I'm trying to get the box that I'm visualizing as accurate to the reference that I can, right? I need to make sure that it's held here as well, because there's multiple things happening. I have to make sure I hold the scale of the box, the tilt of the box, the proportion of the box, as well as the as well as the calculations within the box, like, again, visible and invisible planes, and then the diagonal cross sections inside of it. And while I'm trying to visualize all of that, I'm making a lot of mistakes. I can barely see it, and now this is the part where we lean into the discomfort. I'm in output regression. Output regression is when your brain is essentially the part of your brain that is utilizing the energy resources, which is astrocytic glycogen, right? Let's say, for example, not for example, this is exactly what's happening. My parietal lobe is taxing my working memory and utilizing astrocytic glycogen in order to tax my working memory. That is the fuel resource that our brain utilizes, right? And right now, what I'm experiencing is output regression, which is where essentially all that astrocytic glycogen has been used up, and I'm trying really hard. I'm trying really, really hard to visualize everything, but I can't. To calculate, to apply, to do the thing. But output is being regressed. But input is at an all-time high. And this beautiful moment right here is exactly where we attach, not just this, but all these moments is where you attach dopamine to errors, and you're like, this is where I'm failing, and this is good, because this gives your brain data. When you attach dopamine to acetylcholine and norepinephrine, focus and attention, or attention and focus, I can never fucking remember which one's which, right? But when you, bless me, that was a fucking shark burp in my mouth. But but when you attach good, like positive, just a fucking vague ass, like, oh yeah, I made an error, like just dopamine to errors, right? It signals to your brain that this is a problem to be solved, right? And that right now is like, I'm trying to lean into this, and I'm trying to visualize all the diagonal cross sections, see through the box, and the center planes, the 3 center planes. And this right here, this moment right here, trying to visualize the 3 center planes while holding the proportion. I always say for some reason. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with me, bro. But trying to hold all this in my mind to the best of my ability. And I can barely visualize the 3 center planes, but I'm trying so fucking much to do that right now. And that was sheer output regression because I could not see anything. And that is how we do it. So please, rest your brain. All right, cool. And what is the point of these resting, right? What these resting, the fuck? What is the point of this resting? Well, if you have or haven't heard of the spacing effect or micro gap effects, it's literally the spacing effect is essentially when you space out your learning. That's number one, right? But these micro gap effects, which is another variant or like another utilization of the spacing effect, but on a smaller time scale, which is like 10 to 20 seconds, just like I did now. That's during the practice sessions where you have intensive bouts of friction, i.e. effort, i.e. discomfort, i.e. purely just trying to achieve or just put the high inputs, the high frictionful inputs that you're focusing on, right? By the way, while I'm talking, I've already gone, again, I'm looking at the reference right now to get the portrait in my mind. Okay, now I'm already back to visualizing, right? I'm already back to visualizing. But yeah, and calculating. So just know that while I'm talking about something completely unrelated, which is a skill, by the way, to talk and draw, right? Just know that I'm constantly calculating and visualizing this box and the diagonal cross sections and the center planes. And just for a second, and again, it's actually like I'm proving the point I was making, but let me verbalize it. I see it a lot clearer. Why do I see, just for a split moment, like a few seconds, I saw this the schema that I'm building a lot clearer. Why did I see that? Because the resting essentially replays the repetitions that you essentially went through, right? The resting after your frictionful bout, it replays it at 20 times the speed. So you get 20 times the fucking learning. Like literally, your brain just replays it backwards. Why backwards? We don't know, right? But that's number one. What it also does is it replenishes the glycogen that your brain utilizes as its energy, right? It's why like if you do a very long bout of focus and you don't rest your brain, you feel the mental heaviness, you feel the fatigue, but none of the replenishment, right? And that's exactly why we rest our brains, like during these learning bouts. But yeah, like just for a split second, I literally saw the box seen through with the diagonal cross section and one center plane. Like I actually saw it. I saw invisible lines, okay? So it's crazy, but that again is sparing because again, my brain for hundreds of hours will be building this mental model. And again, while talking while drawing is a very difficult skill, right? So I need to constantly balance many dozens of working items in my working memory. And you can hear how my speech is stilted. And this is why this channel exists. I'm here to demystify the learning journey, right? To demystify the artistic learning journey specifically, but just learning how to learn. I'm here to get rid of all the fucking preconceived notions. That's actually something I want to talk about, which is like, I know I bitch about talent all the time, right? But like, before I get into that, like that's what this is for. Like I am explaining every explicit thing as I possibly can, right? As I currently possibly can, right? In the fact that like I can't see the box, I'm literally losing it's diverging consistently. I can't see anything. Like I can only see this side plane right now. I literally can't see anything else. I can only see the visible side plane. Side plane. What the fuck, my voice? I don't know. What the fuck? Side plane right here. There you go. That's better. That's what I really sound like. But I can only see that side plane right there, right? And I'm trying so hard to calculate. But you know what's happening with the box right now? This is the side plane I see, and then this is what's happening. It's literally fucking going everywhere. Like it doesn't make any sense. And that is something I'm attaching dopamine to because my mental model is crashing. I am putting in a lot of strain to visualize, but my mental model is crashing. And now it just came back. Now it came back. And that's why this ghosting helps a lot too, because it literally just came back right now. I'll show you, I'll come back. But anyways, it came back just a little bit, right? So I can see the bottom plane, I can see the side planes. I'm thinking a lot. Oh, I can see the entire seen through box now. I have to hold that and see the diagonal cross sections. Then I have to get okay, so I just lost it again, but I need to bring it back. I lost the side plane. The entire left side of the box is completely gone to shit. But I need to bring it back, right? Because again, cognitive energy, I need to bring it back. I need to reconstruct it and then see this diagonal cross section and this one right here, right? At least try to see it. See, I can't see it. I literally cannot see it. Right? And again, and I said I'll talk about this, I'll talk about that, but this is like, I much more value explicitly stating what I'm thinking about, and I just look back at the reference just to make sure I got the angle correctly. But I value much more what I'm thinking about and you knowing exactly what I'm thinking about than whatever fucking random bullshit tangent I go on every goddamn video, because none of that really matters. Right? So again, like what is the orientation of the box, right? This is the invisible X, Y, and Z. This is the visible, there you go, X, Y, and Z, right? And then this is the diagonal cross section, there you go, okay. I think I see it decently, and then I need to get the center planes. And I always start with the invisible side of the center plane. So I need to get this eyebrow line center plane. I feel as if that's probably the most important, right? And again, I just tilted the box again. I just look back at the reference. It's incorrect. That's a fucking dopamine attached to error, right? The tilt was incorrect. The orientation was incorrect. So I need to bring it back, right? I need to bring it back. This is the box that I was visualizing. Actually, no, that's the correct box. Fuck, this is the box I was visualizing, and it needed to be more tilted like this. Fuck, no, this is the correct one. That's what it was. I don't fucking know, bro. I don't fucking know, right? See, so it's constant mistakes, right? And I'm literally sweating right now. Maybe because my radiator's on, I should have turned it off, but also because I'm exerting a lot of cognitive energy, right? And when it comes to spatial reasoning, it is a lot of cognitive energy. Like it is simply many items in your working memory. It is cognitive endurance, right? So again, I need to okay, I'm gonna try to hold the entire box in my mind, right? With all its diagonal cross sections. I'm gonna try to get the proportions accurate, right? And then I'm going to see all the diagonal cross sections inside of it, which is exactly what I'm trying to do right now. And then I'm gonna get this center plane. See, that was wrong. Beautiful. This center plane. There you go. The eye line center plane, right? The eyebrow line center plane. And then while holding that, try to get the vertical center plane, right? That connects through the front of the face, and then the one that goes through the ear, right? So, and I completely lost all the diagonal cross sections at this point. Like, the center planes are based on arbitrary measurements, which have already disappeared from my mind, right? So like, just lost everything, and I just, again, attached dopamine to that, right? So I'm gonna rest my brain again. We're gonna do this at least 2 more times because it's only been 15 minutes. Yeah, we're gonna do this at least 2 more times. Where the goal before I even place the box is to get some semblance of the box seen through all 6 planes, visualized and calculated, and held proportionally. The diagonal cross sections in every single visible and invisible box, and then the 3 center planes to the best of my ability, intersecting within it, right? Like, that's the goal, is like to see that, and it's incredible. Interleaving works because I couldn't see this, and this is a new angle. This is an angle, like, it's a new angle. It's an angle that I don't do often, right? And like the schema that's being built, the mental model that I'm building, is to be able to visualize the box and as geometrically accurate in perspective as a form, a box that I could visualize and calculate, seen through, yeah, like the 6 planes, diagonal cross sections, 3 center planes, the ellipses inside of it, and then the sphere encompassing those ellipses, right? And that is the foundation I'm building for the face. Like, that is what I'm building over the next fucking 300 hours. Like this is, and all these fucking like calculations is what I'm building as literally a fucking simulation in my mind and on the page before I even start thinking about what's it called, like adding the jaw and all that shit. But I am doing that now. Like, that's why I'm making things a little bit harder for me, because at the tail end of my practice, I will start thinking about the simple forms, right? The simple forms that my reference is made out of, right? And the lips and the eyes are, spheres. The nose is a fucking manipulated box. Very difficult to do, by the way. Like, these manipulations are not easy, especially if you're just starting, right? And then the lips is like a fucking organic manipulation, which I don't even understand, to be honest. You see, like, that's like the fucking contour lines, whatever the fuck. But anyways, let me rest my brain. I encourage you to do as well. And then, yeah, just keep fucking trying. Literally just keep trying. But I do want to bitch about talent, as always. Not bitch about it, but I want to say something very explicit about talent, right? And that is obviously my opinion. And it will mean something more, most definitely, when I have 2,000 videos of my practice, i.e. 2,000 hours of my practice uploaded at the 10-year mark. Right now, we're only at the 3-year and 9-month mark of my actual practice, and 428 videos now. This is the 428th video of like hours uploaded, because it's only been a year and a half since the channel's been active, maybe a year and 8 months now, right? Since I started documenting things, right? But everything, even year 1 and 2, is documented. But hopefully, what I say about talent will mean more. Hopefully mean something now, but it will 100% fucking million times mean more when I have the skill that will be seen as good enough to listen to, right? Like, you're good enough, I will listen to, and I have no qualms about that, right? You're only as good as the work you put in. It's as simple as that. And nobody, and I don't deserve to have anybody listen to me until they do, right? It's as simple as that. Like, there's no worries about that. But I'm just setting that as a precedent, is the fact that, like, what I have to say about talent will mean more 8 years from now, 6 to 8 years from now, right? But not right now, right? But hopefully you can take into consideration what I'm saying for your own benefit, which is mindset. But anyways, what the fuck? Just rest your brain. God damn it, I need to shut the fuck up. All right, Wunder in the Dunder bar, right? You're welcome, Parkit. I hope he's one of my fans. I guess fan. And he got pissed I didn't call him a goat in the last video, so I'll call you a goat now. The goat Parkit Valeger, right? His username. Probably in the future, nobody will know what the fuck I'm talking about. But anyways, it's just somebody part of the community like comments every now and then, right? Really nice guy. But anyways, again, while I'm talking about this, whatever I'm talking about, whatever I'm going to be talking about, I am still, literally, this is the clusterfuck I'm trying to see in my mind, by the way. Like, just so it's very clear, like, what I'm literally trying to see, but in a much larger scale, of course. Like, this is the clusterfuck I am trying to see in my mind. So the box, seen through every single diagonal cross section, right? Like in the visible and invisible planes, right? Every single one. And am I doing it? No. Am I trying? Yes, right? Like, but every single one. You can see my lines are really shit today, right? And then the 3 center planes intersecting as such, right? The 3 center planes intersecting through them, through the center points of the diagonal cross section. That fuckery is what I'm trying to see in my mind. Just so, if I hope you guys are drawing along, right? But if you're not, right, and you're just like, oh, I just chanced upon this random part in the video, there you go. Like, this is actually what's going on in the mind of this specific artist who is literally trying to min-max, and not trying to, is min-maxing draftsmanship over the course of his lifetime, right? But here's my take on talent. It doesn't fucking matter if you're talented or not, right? Because at the end of the day, and there's this artist called Can I Learn to Draw? I really respect this artist. What I don't appreciate is his mindset that he has towards himself. I really fucking want him to keep his ambition without having to feel as if like, because he made this video on like, oh, it was like a whole like, oh, well, I'm just gonna give up on trying to be fucking the GOAT because like talent, and it was just some fucking, I was like, bro, I didn't even watch the entire thing and I just left a comment and be like, brother, I believe in you. Like, just, you don't have to resign yourself to not being the best you can be purely because like this is a difficult learning journey, right? Like, you can literally be ambitious, work hard, do your best, and still have no qualms whether you fucking achieve all your goals or not, because it's who you became. That's all that matters. Like, it's the person who is capable of putting in 30 years of fucking effort and becoming an excellent draftsman, right? And achieving so much. That is what matters. And like, just being able to express themselves through this incredible medium, right? Not the person that specifically couldn't draw gesture in this one way or whatever the fuck. Like, I don't know, like obviously that's not the best example, but the point is, I left a comment, I got a lot of likes, so people agreed with me, I was validated. But like, that made me think, and that has me thinking about why everybody's so fucking obsessed with talent. And it just comes down to this. You're a fucking loser who doesn't want to put the work in, right? And I'm talking about myself too. Like, this is who I was. I was a fucking loser who did not want to put the work in, right? I did not see reality clearly, right? And I did not consider this very simple truth. It does not matter, what the fuck? It does not matter, I fucked up my own goddamn, beautiful, very, very resolute statement. But yeah, it does not matter whether you are talented or not. There are individuals who are born with a keener eye. There are individuals who are born with better motor dexterity. There are individuals born with better recall of specific shapes. There are individuals born with better understanding of gesture and flow. There are individuals who will have a better understanding of design, right? There are individuals who will understand composition to a much greater degree, right? And these are all baseline affinities that every single one of us is fucking born with, right? And the beautiful thing about these affinities is that they are behaviors, which means they are skills, right? They are things that are mutable. We can control them. They are absolutely within our fucking control. And there are individuals who will pick up concepts related to these things faster. Again, how? Because focus, attention, and a genuine interest in learning the thing, right? Or brain chemistry, which allows them to learn that thing better. But at the end of the day, the skill to learn, the skill to pick up these behaviors, right? The skill to improve these behaviors as skills is all skills. It's all fucking skills. So what the fuck does it matter if person A put 8,000 repetitions in and person B put 18,000 repetitions in, right? Because as long as they both worked hard, enjoyed the craft, and tried to be the best version of themselves, that is all that fucking matters, okay? So get your bullshit, because again, like, everybody can be excellent. Everybody can be excellent, but at the same time, is everybody willing to even put in the work to be excellent? Because excellence has a high cost to entry, just like mastery does, right? But mastery is a giant question mark that can only be unveiled through that work ethic that is built for excellence, to achieve excellence, to become excellent, right? So before everybody, like, I don't understand why everybody's like, oh, well, mastery this, mastery that, or like, oh, I don't know if I can be good. It's like, shut the fuck up. You haven't even put the work in to be mediocre. How the fuck can you talk about being good, right? And that's why I don't understand why, I don't know his name, but like, Can I Learn to Draw, the YouTube channel, even has this mindset, because he has the work ethic. He literally has the evidence, right? So his expectations is that he's not seeing reality clearly. He sees his own progress as some sort of, in just some sort of negative manner, and it is making him reflect on his work ethic and just what he's accomplished in a negative, or not in a non-positively affirming way. I don't know if that makes sense. Also, I'm fucking dying here trying to think about all this shit, right? But anyways, like, I need to shut the fuck up for a quick second just to try to visualize all of this. And okay, I'm seeing the box now. I'm seeing the diagonal cross sections to the best of my ability. I'm really trying to fucking calculate this shit. And now I'm trying to calculate the 3 center planes, right? And I'm not gonna use my pen to ghost, right? I'm just gonna try to see all of it to the best. And dude, like, I'm tensing my body because of how much friction this is incurring, and I'm also forcing myself to feel good because of how much friction this is incurring. right? But I'm trying to see the 3 center planes, and I'm trying to hold all of them at the same time because I can calculate them individually, but trying to hold all of them at the same time, right? That is the difficult part, and that is exactly where I am exerting all my energy. And just for a split second, I see most of them, but not all of them, right? I see most of those 3 center planes, but I don't see all of every single edge line of the 3 center planes, right? And that is, that is like where I need to dictate my efforts the most, right? Okay, that was really difficult. That was really, really difficult. But I'm gonna rest my brain. I'm gonna keep fucking bitching as I do, right? But yeah, I'm gonna keep bitching, 100%. I'm in that mood today. This is, hopefully there's value in this, but I'm gonna rest my brain. I encourage you to do so as well. But yeah, anyways, as I was saying, right? And again, like I'm thinking about all these factors while I'm talking, which is extremely difficult. But yeah, it doesn't matter what you are capable of or incapable of. All that matters is you see reality clearly, right? That's why I always talk about removing the ego. Because, my friend, when you die, you will know nothing, okay? Because whatever you attempt to achieve will always have a million more nuances the better you get at it, right? That is the joy of learning. And you see how I framed it as joy and not pain, not discomfort, not friction, not any of that stupid shit that people say, right? Because that is fake and gay, all right? there's no pain in learning, all right? There's simply effort, and it is our perception of the effort that creates this language that we keep calling pain, right? And yes, of course I'm privy to that, Did I want to draw today? No. What did I think? I was like, God damn it, I don't want to do all that fucking like diagonal cross section. That's so difficult. But you know what else I did? I was like, fuck it, I've done it before. And that's the thing. You use the evidence that you built, even if it's just one fucking time, to inform the next time. I now have 1,000 hours of evidence to give myself in order to say that, hey, you can do this one more time, all right? Like, you can definitely do this one more time. And apart from that, like, I know I'm going all over the place, right? But it's why, like, the whole talent thing, I don't understand. Like, it's a pity party, really. It's just, I want to say that I cannot do because it feels better saying I cannot do versus being like, this is purely a game of longevity and effort. This is purely a game of longevity and effort. It's purely a game of intentional volume, chasing friction, literally embracing and in training your brain, right? Training the skill of learning to enjoy the friction, just like I'm doing my best to do right now, right? Like, it is much more difficult, right? And people will shy away from difficult things. So what is easier? What is easier? It's easier to say talent, right? Because that person understands this better. Oh, I grew up with somebody who just seemed to get it all, right? Well, I'll say this. Nobody's fucking born drawing this. Nobody is born drawing this. And if that 1 in a million prodigy does exist, guess fucking what? To become their version of excellent, they still have to put in a fucking 1,000 hours, 2,000, 5,000, 8,000, whatever the fuck. Mozart is considered to be one of the greatest geniuses of our fucking time. So is Da Vinci, all that shit, right? Fucking Ramanujan. And I can guarantee they still fucking dove extremely deep into their craft. I mean, literally, what is it? Michelangelo has a quote, if you knew how much work I put into my craft, you wouldn't think it was so impressive what I can do. Very, very paraphrased, of course, right? He has another quote, an artist is only as good as his brain, right? Or a painter is only as good as a painter is only as good as the quality of his thinking, something like that, right? And okay, holy shit, like, fucking completely unrelated. It's not unrelated. Completely related, but unrelated to what I was unrelating earlier, which is what I'm talking about now, but it's related. What the fuck am I saying, bro? The point is, I can't visualize anything, so I need to really fucking zoom out, and and my ears are getting red too, holy shit. But I need to see all the diagonal cross sections and the 3 center planes, right? The skill of talking about random bullshit while fucking visualizing all of this is so incredibly difficult, bro. But it's time. I think it's time to actually draw. Like, okay, it's time to, how long has it been? It's been fucking 29 minutes, Jesus Christ. Okay, so it's time to take a step back to visualize the box, right? And then to see every single diagonal cross section, all the 3 center planes, and then to draw it, right? But I'm gonna do that obviously after. Like first, right now, I'm not even gonna ghost anything. I'm just gonna visualize this box with all the 3 center planes, right? And by the way, like when I say all of this, the main message I'm trying to give is fuck what excuses or anything anybody has. The only thing that matters is what your current capabilities, your desired or your standards, right? The standards that you do not compare yourself to, but you evaluate yourself to, right? So your current skill, your desired / the standards that your skills are set at, right? Like the skills that you want. So current skill, desired / skill standards, and the gap in effort, the gap in volume, the gap in time, right? And seeing that clearly and being like, okay, that's it. And just be like, okay, I can and I will do it. And that's the only message I want to give across to you is like the effort is the only thing that matters. Every single fucking one of you are capable of putting in that effort, right? This is different. I would hope I'm trying to make it different from grind. Like it's not about like, oh, I'm such a hardcore person. Look at me. I'm visualizing 15 things. It's just like, no. I'm literally just doing my best, right? And I will push what I can to the best of my ability because I enjoy learning. Like I'm trying to literally, hopefully teach all of you, right? If there's anything I can teach that I'm allowed to teach, that I'm fucking have the liberty of teaching, the fucking right to teach, whatever, right? Because I'm just a nobody. But if there's anything that I can teach is just, this is how we can enjoy learning, by purely making it effort-based, and then analyzing friction, right? Analyzing errors and attaching dopamine, like basing it all on that, like just feeling good about it, right? And the rest will come with time. And again, I really want to build a cohort. In my lifetime, I want this channel to at least have 1,000 people. 1,000 people if I can affect to completely improve, change their mindset as lifelong learners is that delayed gratification, you know, delayed gratification and immense effort. And again, I fucked up the fucking, I know I said I wouldn't ghost, but I really want to see this, but I fucked up the box again. So I'm really okay. I need to shut the fuck up. I'm visualizing the entire box, the diagonal cross sections. Okay, I actually see this pretty well now. I need to fucking hold this. I actually see the box, I see through it, I see all the diagonal cross sections. Holy shit. So I need to hold all of this. Again, dozen plus items, a fucking 2 dozen items in my working memory. And then now I need to put the 3 center planes in it. And this is where it's starting to fall apart. Immediately starting to fall apart. But I'm putting the 3 center planes inside of it, right? There you go. That one as well. Oh, that one was off. And then this one. Like, let's try to hold that just a little bit longer. Come on, Viggy, you can do it, you fucker. And then, there you go. Okay. I know it sounded like I shat myself in the end, and the answer is yes. I'll be wiping. I cannot speak. I'll be wiping after the video. All my fucking jokes are going to shit because cognitive effort, right? The more mentally taxed I am, the more my speech, right? Any part of my mental faculties that are delegated to speech, take the fucking back burner. I was already a shit speaker before I started practicing, and now I'm 10 times worse, right? So please rush your brain. But yeah, regarding the whole talent thing, I mean, like, I'm sure in the future when people come to a lot of my videos where I'm just fucking talking about this, right, I would like to believe that their brain cells will allow them to think that when I pull up something like this and I say 1,000 hours of effort, this is 1,000 hours of effort, right? This is the cumulative output of 1,000 hours of pre-established effort, right? Predetermined effort, pre-done effort, whatever the fuck you want to call it, right? That anybody who has 2 brain cells will be able to look at this and be like, yes, it is a skill. Yes, it was pure effort. Yes, he is not talented, right? Because if he was talented, or if he was a prodigy, he would have made leaps and bounds and not the extremely sequential, linear, if not growth that we've seen, right? Like the linear, like just slow and steady growth that we've seen, you know? The only reason he's learning as fast as he is because he's doing his best to apply neuroscience, right? Which is supposedly, even if it is legit or not legit, right? The things that I'm saying, what am I saying? Focus on the effort. When you make mistakes, feel good about them, right? And then just keep going. I don't think anybody in the fucking world when they're learning anything does not benefit from that, right? It's like, it's actually an impossibility, right? If you are practicing something and you're focusing on just effortfully practicing it, and you notice your mistakes and you're like, wonderful, I made a mistake. Like that's something to pay attention to. There's no universe where that is not good for you. It literally, like, it is fucking, it's like the laws of physics do not compute if you have the opposite experience where you're like, fuck this shit, I don't want to learn anymore. So even if there was no neuroscience attached, and this is not how the brain worked whatsoever, it's still good for you, right? But I know, like, in the future, people will come to these videos and come up with their own fucking retarded explanation as to why. No, talent is important, trust me. Because I knew this one person who tried really hard, as if that means that you shouldn't try hard. Because one person tried hard and got more out of it. Therefore, you should not try hard, because you will not get as much out of it. A, shut the fuck up. B, do the work. C, enjoy the work. Wow, would you look at that? You still managed to achieve so much over exponential compounded growth over decades. Oh no, but they were so talented. Now I'm just gonna cry myself to sleep because they were talented, right? My achievements don't matter, my efforts don't matter, my repetition doesn't matter, my volume doesn't matter, my mindset doesn't matter, because somebody else had one thing, or a few things, or even multiple things, slightly easier than me. And they just happen to do it naturally and gifted. This isn't how I know that. This is like, it's funny because like the only people who bitch about this are those who are shit. Like those of you who are shit, right, or are not where you want to be, right, are the only ones who bitch about this. I know I have like been, obviously I do my best to pay attention to professionals and what they talk about, right, but very few professionals, from what I can tell, like they say talent in a complimentary way and all that stuff, but every single one of them emphasizes work ethic and trying your best. Every single one of them emphasizes work ethic and trying your best, right? So what does that tell us, right? Please tell me, what does that tell us, right? That they are not fucking hung up on whatever bullshit you are hung up on, right? And of course, I'm speaking to a very specific demographic. Obviously, I'm very like passionate about this, but whatever. Let's just say, for the sake of fucking me talking to myself in this basement, right? And I'm just making conversations up, right? Let's just say for the purpose that this is legit, right? They are not like those who are good or on the path towards being good. And by the way, while I'm talking, I'm trying to think about all the diagonal cross sections. It's extremely difficult while applying these lines, right? But those who are on the path to becoming good, to becoming great, to simply working towards their goals, right, are not caught up on the bullshit that those who are shit are. It's as simple as that, right? Like the only people who complain about talent are beginners. The only people who complain about anything is beginners, right? Or intermediate to a stalling. But even then, like intermediate to a stalling, who are stalling will be like, oh, I did all of this and damn, I struggled, but like there has to be a way to figure it out. Yeah, from what I've noticed, even a lot of intermediates just have that mindset of like, no, I'll figure this out because I got to this point. So clearly there's just a problem to be solved, a method to be utilized, a mindset to be understood, a practice to be had. Not, I don't want to put in a fucking 1,000 hours. Oh, no, I can't do it, right? Because once you pass the threshold of even like 500-600 hours of practice, from my experience and from what I've seen, very few people are going to make excuses over their lack of ability. It just comes down to like the people who get to that point, like at that point, they just really need to internalize like, oh yeah, like this is the path, right? Like I climbed this mountain, right? I can finally understand space a bit better. I finally have clean lines, right? Like I can finally like play around with the worlds that I'm trying to create, right? i.e. like me, like I'm just like a little bit past that first valley. And now this is the second valley, right? This is the second valley, which is even larger, will take even more time, take even more effort, and will require me to be even more patient, right? And that is exactly where beginners do not allow themselves the opportunity to get to, right? And again, I want to be very clear. You're all capable. You're all very fucking capable, right? But you have to understand that to be capable, you must A, believe you're capable, B, consistently try to be capable, right? Like right now, I'm consistently trying to be capable by what, right? By the way, like once I drew the box, all the cognitive energy to visualize the box obviously went away. So now I'm focusing all my cognitive energy on simply visualizing, not simply, but you know, because it's not simple at all, and it's not easy at all either, but on simply as in like, just like, oh, this is just the next thing, is visualizing and calculating the inside of the box, the diagonal cross sections, right? That's already something I've established before, as well as I can put more cognitive energy because I've cleared up this box as a few items from my working memory on the 3 center planes intersected. It's already getting a lot better, right? It's already getting a lot. See, again, that's a mistake because I always want to start internally, right? To really reaffirm my understanding of space, right? And I'm just trying to see those 3 intersected planes. Like also, obviously, the lines are intersecting through the center point. If the center point's right around here, the line should be intersecting right through here, right? So I'm trying to see all of that. And again, I'm feeling a warmth in my brain, bro. Like I'm genuinely feeling a fucking warmth in my forehead. Like there's a pressure right above my right eyebrow, right? Like this is very cognitively demanding. Astrocytic glycogen's a fucking bitch, ain't it? It can used up like this, right? But what I'm trying to say is like, yes, you can do it, but B, the only people who have qualms about the journey are those who are beginning the journey, because they don't see, again, it's just they don't see reality clearly, and they have an ego, right? Oh, I should be able to understand this faster. This is simple, right? Therefore it is easy. Oh, I can't get it. Oh, I'm going to project by calling this boring, right? Because it is too difficult for me to understand currently. Again, they don't have the mindset of currently I don't get it. And there's volume, just sheer intentional volume. Like, that's literally the answer. How do I get better? Do fucking more with as much intent as you can. And more and more and more. Oh, this is a lot easier. Okay, let's make, like, now it's come to a point where you don't have to think as hard to do it. Improve the difficulty, right? Improve the difficulty, because that is the goal, to always be better. I'm telling you, 40 years from now, I will still be doing my best to find ways to fucking kill my brain. Right? That's just what I've trained myself, because it is a trainable skill. And that's just what I've trained myself to be like, right? Over 1,000 plus hours, right? Of sheer effort, sheer cognitive effort, and physical effort, of course, with the motor skill, right? Of course, with physical effort as well, right? And again, like right now, I can barely see the diagonal cross sections. I saw them before, and I don't see them again. I'm trying to really lean into that, and I'm trying to see these center planes again, right? Like, trying to see this center plane. That's this vertical center plane, right? Fuck, this way. This vertical center plane, this vertical center plane, and then this horizontal center plane, right? Oh God, bless me, right? But I think I was making a point earlier, and I completely lost the plot because I just started ranting to myself. But what I believe I was obviously, and again, while I'm talking, I'm genuinely thinking a fuck ton about all these different cross sections and all that shit, right? Like, I really am. Like, it's my brain is like, I'm in sheer output regression. My brain is so taxed right now. But what I'm trying to say is, let me try to finish my thought while I do this, right? While I just kill my brain, let's build a skill of killing my brain and being in extreme discomfort, attaching dopamine to discomfort, while also talking about something completely unrelated, right? And again, my speech is very fast because it's trying to keep up with my thought processes, and I'm trying to explicitly state everything I'm thinking about, right? So with that being said, right, the whole talent thing, right? Maybe I'll have another thing to bitch about once I rest my brain. I have more thing. I'll be like, oh yes, I have clarity now. But the main thing is, all I can say regarding that is, it doesn't fucking matter who started off with plus 10 stats in which behaviors and which attributes, right? It doesn't matter who started off with the stats in those behaviors and attributes, and who started off with the stats towards understanding those behaviors and attributes, like the plus 10 boost. It doesn't matter, because it's all skills, it's all learnable, and your effort has merit, okay? I'll say that again, your effort has merit, right? I gotta say merit like that, but your effort has merit, right? And if, like, you can also, like, if it makes it easier, you can just believe that I'm not talented, right? Like, and I think you should, because I am not talented. Again, like, this is purely through work. And again, can I learn to draw says like, oh, but everybody who's talented always thinks it's their hard work and all that shit, right? Why shouldn't they? If somebody has talent or does it, if they work their fucking ass off to the best of their ability, they work their fucking ass off to the best of their ability, right? And the excellence they achieved was a reflection of that, right? Like, of becoming the person who was the excellent version of themselves. So again, it doesn't matter, because you can offset vast majority of this and become purely excellent, if not a master, if you give yourself enough time, volume, and decades, right, in the things that you give a shit about of your learning, right? Whether it be, and again, like, always based on the fundamentals, improving yourself as an artist or whatever. Like, the point I'm trying to make is, like, it just doesn't matter. Like, get your head out of your ass, right? You're only as good as the work you put in, where you put it in, how long you put it in, how much effort you put while you did it, right? Like, right now, being very objective, while I'm talking, I've been barely able to visualize anything, right? Therefore, I'm only as good as that effort. I'm only as good as the fact that, like, if it takes me 10 times longer to be able to do this properly because I'm struggling so much to be able to see this, that is reality. That is what it is, okay? Okay, there is no, like, I'm not good at this, and there's no I'm not good at this period. There's no I'm not good at this but, whatever the fuck it is, I'm not good at this, comma, yet, and then comma again, and that is what it is. Simple as that. Like, and that is it. Like, that is what it is, right? I'm not good at it yet, i.e., given enough time, effort, and volume, I will be, right? And that is what it is, okay? i.e., and I accept that, because that's what it is. That person understands this better. Fine. I understand this better than that person. Okay, right? That person will understand it better if I continue to put my thumb up my ass and they continue putting volume. Okay, I will understand this better than that person if they put their thumb up their ass and I continue putting volume. Okay, right? If we both put in at the same rate and they still understand it better, that is fine, because I will still continue putting in work, because my efforts have value, and I will become the artist and the excellent version of myself that I can and will become, right? So either way, humility, no ego, effort-based mindset, like, subscribe, keep me on the background, give me your attention, rest your brain. Okay, cool. All right. Oh, 45 minutes. Okay, back to just visualizing the fuck out of all of this. And my speech will probably be more stilted because, again, I always feel like I'm not trying hard enough. And that's okay. That's what it is, right? But that's the biggest encouragement I can give any of you is like, just see reality clearly. This is how much work I've put in. This is where I put it in. This is what it's gotten me. And that's a reflection, again, of the work I put in, where I put it in, where I put it in, and how much I put in. Like, and how much effort I've just put in towards that, right? Like, that's it. And like, that's what it's gotten me. That's not what it should have gotten me. That's not like, why didn't it get me there, right? Like, I thought it'd be farther ahead, all that bullshit. No, like, and that is where it has gotten me currently. Cool. Keep fucking going, right? Like, it's just, that's it. That's literally it. And it's a mindset, which is a skill, which is something you constantly practice and remind yourself, right? Like, again, like same thing here. Like, what am I constantly practicing and reminding myself of? To hold the box seen through, right? X, Y, Z, right? To see through all of that, and then this diagonal cross section, this diagonal cross section, this diagonal cross section, this one, this one, this one. Cool, right? Try to hold that all in my head at the same time. Multiple items, reminding myself, recall, right? Okay, now trying to get the three center planes. Okay, start from the center here, right? Make sure it's the point, the center point, it's attached to it, right? Okay, cool. That line, this line right here, also going to that center point. Make sure to keep in mind this one right here, this one. That's one center plane. Okay, now do the same thing for the other two, right? This one coming up here, right? And I'm trying to hold, I can actually hold it, which is pretty fucking incredible right now, right? It's not gonna happen forever. And then this one, see the second I added the third one in, that is the limit right now. My limit is seeing through the box, seeing the diagonal cross sections on every single visible and invisible plane, and holding two center planes and barely one line of the third, right? One side of the third, right? And then I try again. And I'm constantly trying to hold these things in my mind, recall. While I'm doing that, constantly reminding myself to attach dopamine to the mistakes, right? The mistake was I couldn't hold all of it at the same time. The mistake right now is I can barely see through the box, right? Constantly putting in effort. So every single one of you is capable. Like, I don't know how many ways to say it. And that, again, like, I do my best to strip my ego from the learning process, right? I say all this shit, but bless me, I know that it won't matter until it does. Like, I will not matter until I will. My skill will not compound until it will, right? It will not mean anything until it will. Because why? Because it's just in the thumbnail, right? Nobody's gonna give a shit when they see this shit in the thumbnail. But once they start seeing 5-10 years from now, right? However many years it takes, because it doesn't fucking matter, an incredible portrait underneath, imaginative drawings, and then, then it's like, oh, okay, I will listen to this individual because they have the skill I seek. Therefore, their words are worth listening to. Would you look at that? For fucking 2,000 hours, i.e. 2,000 videos, they've been saying the same shit. So what does that say? Okay, well, it's time to hopefully embody this mindset and take it more seriously, right? I always implore people to take it seriously now, take themselves seriously now, and do their best now, right? And again, I want to be very clear. You can be serious, but you don't have to be a hard ass, right? Like, I'm very serious right now. Like, I'm very seriously practicing and trying to hold all these different fucking diagonal cross sections and all that shit. Yet, I am displacing the seriousness of the task as well by laughing, right? I'm not so up my own ass. Like, I can joke around, I can laugh about it, whatever. Like, you can be whoever and still be excellent, You can be literally anybody and still be excellent. That's my personal belief, and I back up my belief to the best of my ability through action, because nobody gives a fuck what you believe. They only care about what you have put forth to reinforce that belief. And this right here, my cock in the form of multiple lines over the course of decades, is what I'm putting forth. The cock of growth mindset. See, I can laugh at myself, how so funny, but seriously, I thought that was a pretty good joke, right? My laugh made me cringe though, because it was a bit of a giggle. I'm not much of a giggler, emphasis on the iggler, right? But anyways, I'm really trying to hold all this shit in, bro. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. I'm literally like struggling so hard. And now I need to start thinking about the ellipses, right? So I'm trying to hold all the diagonal cross sections in, hold all the center planes in. And now I'm trying to think about the ellipse, right? And that, see, like, I can barely like reason this, because what am I trying to do right now? When you just saw me do that, what was that? That was me trying to hold in all the diagonal cross sections, all the see through the box. I can hold all the three center planes intersected, right? And then for this center plane right here, I was trying to literally think about this, right? And that killed my brain. That was the limit, the confines of my working memory, right? And by the way, doing this improves your working memory. What I'm doing right now is I'm actively forcing my brain to improve its ability to hold this many items and however many items I'm trying to hold. Like, and to at the same time condense the units of information, whatever my brain uses to process these fucking individual components, units of information, right? Which is one diagonal, and all that shit, right? Like, they were individual before, now it's like one chunk. But that's what happens. Right now, these three center planes are individual center planes with their own, some of them having their own individual size that have to be processed and held in my working memory. But through sheer effort and constantly pushing myself And again, attaching dopamine to the friction of doing this in and of itself and all the mistakes that I'm making, right? I am forcing my brain to, over hundreds of hours and many, many, many months, right? Probably fucking year, right? Of just consolidating this information into one solidified mental model, schema, right? Consolidated process, right? And that is how it works. Like, that's what's being built, and that is what's gonna allow my brain to open up, right? Its butthole. It's to open up the the possibility of being able to visualize these the ellipses and the center planes and all that shit. And there's another skill I'm still very lackluster at, which is drawing large ellipses, right? So I obviously want to practice that, and I know right now I'm making a huge mistake in just like how I start this curve, right? So there you go. This is my ellipse, right? This is my ellipse. In this vertical one and the horizontal one, this is my ellipse right here, right? And again, this is like some of it I can't calculate. Like this side of the ellipse I can barely calculate because I can barely see the center planes, therefore I can't see the center lines, right? I can't see this vertical and horizontal center line of that plane, right? Which the ellipse is following in terms of its curvature, right? Because it's these two curves are equal and then these two curves are equal, and even just figuring out what the quote unquote good curve is, like what the equal curve is very difficult. Of course, there's also the minor axis to consider, right? But that's intuitive for me right now because this is just the minor axis, this line, right? It's intuitive for me now, but it took me 400 hours, 1 year. It's over a year's worth of effort if you draw every day, right? 400 hours of effort to get to that point, right? And again, like, let me get this vertical ellipse as well. And like, the reason I say these numbers is not to intimidate, it's to give you, I hope it grounds you, right? It's to be like, oh, that's all it takes? He was shit, and now he's much, much, much less shit. Okay, I can do it too, right? That's literally all I ever wanted. Well, by the way, while I'm trying to calculate and visualize this plane, everything went to shit. Like, I can barely see through the box, but sorry, this ellipse inside the plane, right? This other ellipse went to shit. Like, this one didn't go, went to shit, but I'm trying to hold all of that right now. I'm really trying to hold all of that and then try to get the sphere that encompasses it all, right? The sphere that encompasses it all. And oh my god, I think I just saw it for a split second. Holy, dude, I see it. Holy shit, just for a split second, I can hold all these items in my mind. This is, I don't know what the fuck this is called, but this is the opposite of output regression, and it's gone. But I held all of it. I actually held all of it. Okay, I'm gonna rest my brain. Oh my god, I'm gonna nut. That was amazing. Dude, this happens like every so often. Like once a fucking 3 months, it's like the full consolidated schema for this specific angle, of course, right? But like in general, the mental model, the spatially reasoned mental simulation I'm building, like every so often, my brain will just be like, I see it. I see it, my guy. Your work means something, I see it. And I'm just like, oh. But you know, it's great. Like when it happens just now, like I'm gonna fucking ride that high for like the next week. But yeah, please rest your brain. But yeah, at the end of the day, my core message will and forever will always be, no matter like if you can sift through all the bullshit in terms of like either the passionate parts of when I speak, perhaps the fucking inflammatory parts of when I speak, perhaps even the controversial, especially the controversial parts. Make sure to never skip past that. But just if you can look past my personality, essentially, the main message I will always espouse, right? I will always espew. I will always splatter on your face, right? Is what's it called? What the fuck? What is my main message? Shit. Oh no, yeah, my main message is that you can learn to draw. Okay, you can learn anything, but in this context, you can learn to draw, right? You can put the effort in. It's merely about just focusing on your effort, trying to hold as many things in your mind as possible, noticing as many mistakes as you can, you know, doing your best not to do those mistakes, but when you do, you notice them to the best of your ability, and then training yourself to feel good about it. And more than anything, like I say this for everything. I know I say this, but that's because I have so much crystallized fucking knowledge now. I have so much crystallized experience. I have so much crystallized declarative and procedural knowledge. And even what I know is like fucking nothing. But for a beginner, I understand. For someone who's just in their first year, I get how I'm throwing a bunch of shit at you. But if there's like just one thing I can give you, right? like one thing that has two things inside of it. But one thing I can give you is you are engineering your mind. This is biological engineering, okay? It's being an observer to your learning, right? What am I thinking about? How many things am I thinking about? What am I specifically doing when I'm trying to think about them, right? And that's a skill. That's a skill. Metacognition, thinking about thinking, learn about learning. That's what you're doing. You are engineering your mind. You are purely objective. You're stripped away all emotion, all bullshit, fucking fancy rhetoric, right? Whatever fucking romanticism you have about the process. No, all right? It's pure, not cold objectivity, but just pure objective. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm focusing on. This is what I'm capable of. And the second you notice a mistake, wow, that feels amazing, right? That's the first thing. If I'm gonna just say it in like plain language. The second thing is expand the time horizon, right? Delayed gratification. I'm not capable yet, right? But I will be. And this exact sentence I'm about to say matters so much to me. And again, this may resonate, this may not, but I genuinely think like this is the most important thing. And I will be, right? I'm not good enough yet. I'm not capable yet. I am not within reach of the standards that I evaluate myself, not compare, but I evaluate myself against, i.e. the artist you look up to, yet, but I will be over hundreds and thousands of intentional repetitions, hundreds and thousands, okay? That sentence is like a complete fucking armor against any critiques you may have towards yourself, right? Any bullshit you get caught up, and any complete fucking deflections against why can't I do this, why can't I do that, why don't I understand this? The pure and simple, honest, raw answer is I have not put in the hundreds and thousands of intentional repetitions. And if you don't know what an intentional repetition looks like, that is your opportunity to seek the knowledge, to seek that little bit of guidance that says, oh, an intentional repetition is when I'm trying to hold this, and this in my mind when I'm doing this, right? When I'm trying to draw a line from here to here, I must be thinking about this point, I must be thinking about this point, I must be visualizing and calculating, right, the distance between those two. I must ghost while I'm doing it. Well, that's already 6 items in my working memory. And when applying, I must hold all those in my mind at the same time, right? And think about the pen pressure and everything, blah, 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 right? That is what drawing a line with intention sounds and feels like, right? And is. There you go. Now, your only remaining understanding is the deficit between what you are capable of, which is, holy shit, bro, like this line to this point, wow, like I went like over here and my line was like, right? Now you know. This is likely a deficit of thousands or hundreds or both. I actually don't know why I started with a larger number, but whatever, like hundreds of thousands of repetitions, right? In these three factors I can just about understand and focus on. Like, I think it's what those three is. You do 100 repetitions, 300, 400 repetitions in those three factors. Then you notice, then as you get more intuitive, i.e. muscle memory in those three factors, you notice another two factors that popped up because now your working memory is not allocating energy, resources towards those prior three factors. It is now has the opportunity to open its butt to open up and be like, okay, these two new factors I can think about, right? But anyways, let me fucking do one. All my bullshit aside, like I hope that helps. It's not bullshit. I don't know why I say that. It's not bullshit. It's literally the fucking way, right? Like again, this isn't gonna be for everyone, but it will be for you, right? Like, subscribe. The fucking indoctrination of the Viggy fam, the hashtag Viggy famers. Welcome to the hashtag Viggy famers, right? I'm really trying to bring back how people used to have audience names, right? This, you know, Bro Army, the Creatures, right? Knobs for life, the Knobs, like immortally. I'm a huge fucking Creatures fan, as if anybody can tell, right? Jesus Christ, bro. But anyways, like I haven't been thinking enough, so let me just immediately I'm thinking about the diagonal cross sections and thinking through the form, right? I'm thinking about the three center planes. I'm trying to hold it all in my mind, and I'm also trying to think about the ellipses, and I'm trying to think about the sphere. I'm trying to hold all that shit in my mind at the same time, and I'm getting better. Holy shit, am I getting better? What the fuck? Why can't I see all this? Why can't I see all this? What is going on? What the fuck? Hold on to it, Viggy. This is gonna go away very, very, very soon, and it's gone. Nope, it's still there. I was joking. That was actually a joke. It's still there. What the fuck is going on? Why can't I see this? Why can I see this? Like, I'm actually so confused why I can see this right now, right? Was all the bitching, was that part of the fucking master plan? Is that the superpower that I built, right? The more you bitch, the more you build the ability, right? So, interesting, very, very interesting, right? But again, this might just be like an aha moment in the sense that like my brain just possibly just had like a fucking 10% boost in this one instance or the series of instances where it is like, oh, we've consolidated, right? We have consolidated, because I do see it. I actually fucking see it. What the fuck is going on? I literally see it. Dude, literally what the fuck is going on, right? Oh, I don't see the ellipses anymore. Okay, that's good. But I saw it. That's so fucking interesting. It's a beautiful feeling, I'm not gonna lie, right? Like, and that was only unveiled, right? This is a great way for me to talk about this. That was And again, I just made a beautiful mistake because my hand did not follow the mark accurately. But that was only unveiled through just all the effort I put in this session, right? The extreme cognitive, there, okay, it's all gone now. Yeah, I can't see anything. I can't see anything anymore. But again, I don't know what the term for that, what just I experienced is. I believe it's like it has something to do with it being a visual representation of the schema that you're consolidating. Like I'm certain that's what it is. Like it has a name for it, right? I don't think it's contextual interference. That's something completely different. But it has a name, which is when you see that, when you see the output, when you perform better in an instance, because usually learning is you perform worse when you're actually in pure friction, right? Because output regression, like that is the norm, but your brain actually technically shrinks when you're in this state, right? And that's why you attach dopamine to errors and you put into problem solving mode and all that shit. But I know there's a term for these rare instances where your brain is like almost consolidating the schema, right? I know there's a term for that. I just don't know what it is, but just know that that is likely what just happened. And you witnessed it. For all the fucking scientific researchers who are going to be using this to nut over how a human brain builds top tier spatial reasoning, and for all of the people from the beginning who are looking at this, or who are beginners, right? Who are looking back at the beginning, right? Let it be known, you just witnessed that. And you have, if you go to any other episode, fucking video, like fucking practice, Jesus Christ, just part whatever, you'll see that like, I will always explicitly state like, this is what I just experienced. Like right now, I can barely see through the box, right? I can barely think about the three diagonal cross sections, right? And again, I just made a mistake. I thought about this side of the diagonal, of the center plane as well. I can barely see the three center planes. I thought about this side instead of this side. I had to keep thinking about the invisible side, right? So that's actually good, because like that's something I need to keep reminding myself, right? Keep thinking about the invisible side, right? But let's see. I need to. Okay, so I am actually a little bit able to conceptualize the three center planes, right? Just a little bit. But again, you see I went up here and then up here. That's invisible, visible. I need to do invisible, invisible, right? So I need to keep training my brain to see the invisible sides as well, because it's actually very easy to calculate the visible. When I do this, the second I do this, because it's going to this diagonal, go through this center point. When I do over here, immediately my brain just like, oh, it's the same. It's the same, because your brain wants these shortcuts, right? And this shortcut is based on, again, geometric spatial reasoning. So how long has it been? Oh, it's been a fucking hour. Okay, I'm probably gonna draw the face. I'm gonna rest my brain and draw the face. But let me just try to see everything again, right? Try to see all the diagonal cross sections, the three center planes intersecting, right? And what the fuck's end and comma right, the ellipses inside the three central planes and then the sphere surrounding them, right? But yeah, like I can't see the ellipses anymore, right? I can't, like, it's to think about even reasoning them is causing me a lot of pressure in my forehead, right? And that is good. Again, that is all good. Like hashtag we all Gucci here, right? I don't even know if that's not really a hashtag, is it? Right? Well, technically you can hashtag anything, but anyways, Jesus Christ, right? It's just extreme friction, beautiful. But either way, I'm gonna rest my brain, right? That was very difficult. And then we're gonna we're gonna hold this to the best of my ability, and then this is actually the most difficult part. All of this was just a prelude to what is gonna essentially be sheer output regression, which is trying to visualize all of this while looking at the reference constantly and shifting my attention back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So it keeps breaking my visualization, right? That's very important to note. Like me looking at the reference and trying to proportionally place the geometric versions of the features of this man's face within the schema, utilizing, right, simple forms. So simpler forms, right, geometric forms. And everyone, like, they are simple, and I think the word simple really fucks with a lot of you, right? But the biggest thing the big thing I can say is like simple, not easy, right? That's it. Like it's simple as, you know, an object. This box is simple. Is it fucking easy to draw this box, and then, or even before you draw this box, visualize this box at this scale with all the visible and invisible planes visualized, calculated, held consistently, and then calculate the diagonal cross section and then the three center planes intersecting right within the box, and then the ellipses inside of it, and then the sphere encompassing those ellipses. No, that is a fucking gargantuan astronomical task which takes hundreds of hours for the mental model and schema to consolidate, right? Let alone be applied effectively. But it's a very simple box, right? So it's always simple, not easy. And that's the biggest, I guess, thing I can tell you is like spatial reasoning, biggest ROI, but spatial reasoning hardest, probably literally genuinely one of the hardest skills to build. I mean, there's no universe where getting better at understanding 3D space is to your detriment, right? As long as you do your best to keep applying it. Again, like that's why I do these imagination drawings on my live streams. Check them out, right? Part 67 was out recently, I think, or part 68 actually, I don't know. Right? I don't really stream that often. I do want to do these more, but just fucking life and my schedule gets in the way, right? That's why like these main drawings are the most important, these main practice sessions. But like this is a stress test of my spatial reasoning abilities, right? This is where I get to try to have I always have fun. Have fun was the wrong word, right? Try to have fun. No, I always have fun even when I do this. This is fucking invigorating for me. It's extremely stimulating and wonderful. What I'm trying to say is let's try to express creatively and find a balance between the intuitive spatial reasoning and the expression of the ideas, the forms, the shapes, the things, the scenery, the story, whatever the fuck, right? That's how I believe, and I don't think this is a fucking controversial fucking belief. I think this is just a pretty like simple belief. It's like I believe you practice the fundamentals and then you do your best to express them every so often in order to ensure that you are understanding things in a way which is conducive to your growth, right? Your growth and your goals. My growth and my goals is all based on trying to create the Animorphs fan manga in 40 years, right? So obviously starting like very starting in the beginning, trying to just make sure believable things exist in a believable space and believable things are happening in that space is like the fucking first step of like the 100 steps to create a manga, right? With good draftsmanship. So yeah, that's something I just wanted to say, man. Anyways, rest your brain. All right, okay, it's been an hour and 6 minutes. Cool. Yeah, let's not rush, but let's get to just drawing this geometric version of this face to the best of my ability. You'll see, like in the earlier repetitions, and especially with this fucking atrocity, that it was way more organic. But starting rep 41 and onwards, I decided that actually, like I decided, and I found that it would make a lot more sense to keep it simple. You know, try using Loomis proportions and all that, but just keep it simple and to think about the. And again, I've already started to just think about the shapes, right? Like the geometric shapes, and that's exactly what I'm trying to do right now. Is like I'm just trying to think about, because I'm already like trying to think about the entire fucking center planes and everything. I'm thinking about all that, but I'm trying to think about the ellipse as well. And my brain will free up a lot of energy, right? It will free up a lot of energy once the box with the center planes, the box with the diagonal cross sections with the center planes intersected schema is built. Like once that is built, the amount of space I'll have in my brain to just only ever focus on seeing this center line and this center line in this like specific center plane, and then just slowly like going about my way to like calculate the ellipse correctly, like that is going to be huge, right? Like that is genuinely going to be huge. But right now I don't have that. So right now it's a lot of it is just still cognitively demanding guesswork, right? And again, like while I'm doing this, I'm still trying to encompass it all in a sphere, right? And I'm also trying to think about I'm looking at the reference now, and this guy's like, again, like I have to just turn this into into like a sphere, right? Because that's what the eyeball is, and I'm gonna be using the artwod sphere specifically, right? Like the what artwod teaches in terms of the eyeball and shit, right? And that voice crack, that is exactly what I'm trying to do. Is like and again, this is all based on me like using as much cognitive energy as possible to hold the schema. But while I draw this, I can barely hold the schema, right? But I'm trying to hold the schema in my mind as much as possible, while also, and again, like this is already misplaced when I think about it, because it is deeper in the socket. Like technically this is the center line, that's the eyebrow, and then the eyes are deeper in the socket, right? So that is, again, another mistake that I'm making, but that's okay. This is just, like, all I can do is literally just make these mistakes, right? And like what I mean by like the eye being deeper in the socket is like I'm trying to still visualize the center line. Like this ellipse right? And then this is where the eyebrows, because this is the eyebrow line, according to the Loomis method. It's like that, the center line is the eyebrow line here, but this doesn't look like it's in the center, not only because it's wrong, but because I'm specifically also, I was trying to think about this center line, the eyebrow right here, and then the eye socket specifically being underneath, but being embedded, because the eye is not like this, right? Like we don't just have, let's say like this is the eyebrow, the eye is not just like this, right? The eye is like this, so that means half of it is embedded inside. But then when you put that into perspective, like something like this, right? If this is the eyebrow, right? And then the eye is not something, again, that's just like outside. It is embedded. It is a sphere, right? It is literally, so I'm just trying to think about that. Am I able to think about that with all the bullshit I have to think about? Absolutely fucking not. Literally, in no universe am I capable of thinking about that. Currently yet, right? But that is something I am trying to keep in mind. And again, like I'm trying to get his nose, this dickhead's nose, Jesus fucking Christ, I'm trying to get his nose shape, like the geometric shape for his nose accurate, right? And not bad actually, not bad at all, Viggy, right? This is not an easy, I'm using the wrong pen, I just took that in. This is the one that's dying, right? That's just the one I use for ghosting, so the pen doesn't, some actual good pen doesn't get dry, but this is not bad at all. But again, like while I'm doing this, very clearly I want to say I cannot visualize that. Like, okay, but now that I'm aware of it, again, now that I've stated it out loud, I am going to do my absolute best to visualize all of that. But can I visualize all of that? Fuck to the no, even though I'm trying my best to like look here but zoom out and all that shit. Am I currently capable? No, I am not. Will I be capable? Yes, I will. When? After hundreds and thousands more of intentional hours of this repetition, right? That's actually a fuck up. I fucked up the geometry there, right? But it's okay. And again, I just attached dopamine to the error. And now let's try to get his lip, right? And again, I'm trying to use the artwod lip, right? Which is like a more of a, it's definitely more of, okay, I already fucked up the lip here, but it's definitely more of an organic shape, right? It's basically like a manipulated cylinder. And I'm not gonna be able to explain this that well, but it's definitely more of a manipulated cylinder, right? Like, in fact, I should probably add the contour lines to show exactly what I mean. And this is not like the final lip shape that I'm going to be internalizing. None of these are. These are just my attempts, like to get the repetitions, and while I can, to start thinking geometrically about this, about the face that I'm analyzing, right? Like that's it. Like it's just to start thinking geometrically, because as it will be very evident right now, like it is only to my benefit to think in terms of geometry. Right? Like, what am I trying to say? Jesus Christ, I can't think right now. That's the thing, I can't think, right? So like, it is only to my benefit to think geometrically, because, and again, let's see, this is my eyebrow line. So like, see, like this is exactly what I was thinking or trying to think about, right? And you see like this other eye is completely fucked. And again, like while I'm doing this, I can't even think about the diagonal cross. Like I already fucked up the size of this eyebrow too, but I can't even think about anything. I literally can't think about anything else. But what I'm trying to say is like, it is to my benefit to start turning this into geometry sooner rather than later, because, and let's see where the ear is, right? Again, like this is my, it's to my benefit to try to turn this into geometry sooner rather than later, because then I can consistently, even though it's so hard to do right now, I can consistently build the skill to what's it called, like view these features as simple geometric shapes, right? Like that's basically what I'm trying to say. And then let's see, this is my ear, right? So let's see, the ear is basically this point. Like if we have, let's say we have the ellipse like so, right? Let's say like this is the sphere, right? Something like this, and something like that, right? The ear is like right around here, right? Right, this is where the ear would be, like right there, you know, because this is the box, by the way, right? Like that's the box, some shit like that. So the ear is in that like quarter. So I need to, again, understand like, okay, so we have this ellipse, and then we have this ellipse, right? We have this ellipse, trying really hard not to ghost super fast, but whatever, it's what it is, right? And then we have this ellipse right here, right? This horizontal, it's the vertical and the horizontal that are basically the main ellipses, and then that is where the ear is, right? That's where the ear is, and then I'm just going to make it a tapered box, like I did so here. So something like that, right? And let's see. And something like this, right? Hold up. There you go. That's the ear, right? And yeah, this guy's ear is actually like pretty pushed back. It's literally like flat against his head, so it doesn't even jut out, right? And then we got and then I got to think about the geometry of it all, right? So that's, and he does have a little bit of fat, but we're gonna ignore that fat, right? So this is again pure geometry. We're just gonna try to get the spatial reasoning intact, right? And this is the side of his face, and then this is the other side of his face, like right around here, roughly. And it's so hard to get this down to understand it. But either way, like it's off, it's always gonna be off, right? It's fine. But that's basically like kind of what I'm trying to think about in terms of the geometry. But yeah, that was very difficult. I'm gonna rest my brain, and then we're just gonna draw through the form to like think about. And by the way, like during the tail end of this, like the last 5 minutes, basically it was just flashes, very tiny flickers, like 5-10% flickers and flashes of, like basically like 5-10% of this was flashing 5-10% of the time in the last 5 minutes or so, right? Because it, like, again, trying to already think about all of this was very, very cognitively taxing. So yeah, and actually, like, if we're gonna make this form a little bit more readable, we'll do something like this, right? There you go. That's the ear geometry, I guess, for the time being, right? But yeah, let me rest my brain, and then we just draw through. We draw through. God damn it, we draw through. But yeah, please rest your brain as well. All right, cool. That was genuinely a great art session, right? And like all of last week, I mean, if anybody was there for all of like the last 5 videos that came out prior to this, you'll know that like all of last week, A, not only did I not feel like drawing, but B, I felt like I wasn't trying hard enough. And it's just something like, and I couldn't even visualize anything, right? But it's genuinely just like that's the cost, right? Like that's just what it's always been like for me. Like I have to like, and the thing is, funny enough, you'll see it. Like that was cheating. I curved the line. That was a mistake. But if like the funny thing is, you'll hear this now for the past year and a half of videos, right? 80% of them I'll be like, I feel like I could have tried harder, and yet I've consistently just been getting better, like 1% at a time. Right? Because the feeling that you could have tried harder is actually a reflection. It's exactly where you want to be. Like to feel like, because it's like this, right? What's happening is you're trying really hard. You're trying really hard, but clearly you're struggling, and your brain is struggling, and you're in a lot of friction. So your brain mistakenly signals that to you, right? Or you mistakenly signal that to yourself. You interpret it as a lack of fluency, right? Due to a lack of effort. But what it is a signal of high fluency being built through sheer effort, right? Like it's actually like funny enough, it's like 2 sides of the same coin, right? Like at the end of the day, what's happening is effort. What's happening is lack of fluency, right? And what's actually happening is the fact that that lack of fluency is being consistently simulated, run, problem solved by your brain. But what we're perceiving it as is that we didn't try hard enough because we tried so hard and there was a lack of fluency, right? I.e. the output, input was the trying, output was the lack of ability, right? So yeah, and I feel like that all the fucking time. This is like, it's actually like very sparingly, very, very rarely do I actually feel like I had not a good art session. Like I always feel like I had a good art session. But the thing is, like half the time me telling myself or me feeling like I had a good art session is what I do to convince myself that I had a good art session, if that makes sense. Like me telling myself, like half the time I tell myself, no, it was a good art session because you put in effort, right? And this time I'm gonna start with the invisible lines because I feel as if that is, again, like I said, like what's been stopping me from visualizing the 3 center planes properly, right? So like if I keep even like affirming to myself during these moments when I am drawing what I was trying to visualize, right? It should make a huge difference, or it should consistently make a difference in how I visualize, how I actually like apply the visualization, right? But yeah, like I always have to remind myself. It's a constant reminder, right? It's a constant reminder to me that, hey, like you tried, bro. You tried. Oh no, you like trust. You did the thing. Like you worked hard, right? And that just comes down to, see, that line was incorrect, right? That was a fuck up. But again, I say the word, that was a fuck up. That was shit, whatever. But what I feel is dopamine. See, that line was also a fuck up. Just force myself to feel good, right? And again, I have like not a headache, but I have this pressure in my head. I have this warm sensation that is a bit of a dull pain. And that is a physical manifestation of the discomfort that I felt, that I have felt, that I am feeling from the cognitive effort that I put forth for this specific type of drawing session, which is purely cognitive modeling, mental modeling, building the schema, right? And even now, like I need to think about let me try to more intuitively draw this. No, fuck. I love how I said more intuitively, and then my intuition so beautifully showcased to me that it is shit, right? Like through this ellipse. But you see, like drawing large ellipses is currently beyond my my skill set, right? Because I don't have the hand and finger dexterity and visualization capability to draw a sphere, or an ellipse, sorry, not sphere. I get those interchanged all the time. That's purely just a slip of the tongue, not actually what it is, right? But like I currently just don't have the ability. I literally like I just don't have the skill. It's just always a skill issue, right? So that's why like I do want to practice. I just want to have like a couple streams where I only practice. And I've been saying this for fucking who knows how many sessions now, but I just want to have a stream where I only what's it called? Where I just draw these ellipses. But I'm trying to think about the sphere. Like, what the fuck is this? What happened here? So like, okay, I got this ellipse wrong, right? So it's something like that. There you go. I get this ellipse wrong too. Yeah, I got that ellipse wrong too. It's actually like, this is the circle that the sphere that is being built, right? Yeah, I got two of the ellipses wrong. I didn't because when I see this, I'm like, oh yeah, it's extended, it's like that. But then when I put it here, it's way like, it's just completely off. You see how off those ellipses are? And if you don't, because it's a clusterfuck, I understand. But yeah, oh, beautiful session, wonderful effort, right? And I hope, I'm not gonna say despite all my bitching, I will say because of my bitching, I hope it has made some things more resolute for you, which is I can do it. So like, and by I mean you, like that you can do it, right? So as always, I hope you put as much effort as you could, did your best to enjoy the errors that you made, and as always, fuck you for watching, keep drawing, and please give me money.